Well, all of the parts of that matrix came from our original study of the Canadian Constitution. So all of those points are included in there. So allowing the students to use the matrix that included all of those allowed them to examine the Iroquois Constitution and the Athenian Constitution with some structure, so that they were able to compare them on specific things, as opposed to just letting them read through them all and compare them on things that may not even be comparable. The matrix also gave them the opportunity to examine specific areas. Equity and equitable and equal was a huge discussion for them, because we had many discussions about the definition of what equitable and equal meant, also through our examination of the Canadian Constitution, because it does use that particular statement about equal rights.
People who are lower than you, they can't like argue or ask or anything like that. They can only argue and ask to the people of their.
Okay, so not everyone is equal at the meeting. Yes. Okay, that's undemocracy. Okay. So not everyone is equal at the. Yeah, at the council meetings.
Like, why?
Maybe they know.
Why would I do?
They're not very equal with the outsiders. So people who came to their tribe, they're not letting them participate in the council meetings. Like, they're not letting them become any level of government. And not everyone is equal in the council meetings.
Who's not equal?
The people who participate in the council meetings, they don't all have equal stages. So like, Mohawk can't do the same things as the firekeepers can.
And the Mohawk can't argue with the firekeepers.
Yeah, they can only like talk to people of their own section group.
A few rights because they have most of the household rights. They can kick anybody out of the house if they want to. Except women do not have the right to go into court and have their say on these different topics. That's only the men. So women also can vote if vote for the new lords who go into court if there are no sons of the old lord who may be leaving or has died. So women have those rights, except because they don't have any rights on this, we're still wondering if we should say they have rights and they're even with the men, they have more rights than the men, or they really don't have any rights.
So as far as the democracy part goes, is this a discussion about equal or equitable?
Probably equitable, because the women may have more rights than the men in the household things, except the men, they get to go to court, and that's really important. So women should be able to have these, the household rights and choosing the new lords, because that kind of balances with the court.
And do you guys agree with that, or do you have a different opinion?
Yes. I think it's more equal
How so?
because women just have the rights to work in the house, and they can basically, but they can take anybody out of the house, and the men can work in the court. So I guess it's equal because women can work in the house and the men can work in the court.
Okay.
So men have more political rights and women have more social rights.
So when our group was doing our poll on whether the women and men have equal, equitable, or none of the two for their rights and freedoms. So we went around the class and we asked the students whether they thought that the men and women had equal rights, which means that they have the same rights and they're also fair. So that's equal. And there were 2 people who agreed with that. And equitable, which means that the women and men, they may not have the same rights, but the rights are fair. There were 7 people that agreed with this. And 10 people said that it was neither equitable nor equal. Because the rights, they weren't really fair, and they weren't the same. So the majority of our class has concluded that the men and women don't have equal rights, they don't have equitable rights, they just have rights that aren't really fair.